What's up, everybody? It is finally the freaking weekend. Um, Let me start off. It is Friday, March 31st. Let me start off by thanking Battlezone Championship Wrestling for having me last weekend. Me, along with four other guys, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I've already went over the importance of this and the honor it is. The honor it was for me to accept it. And this right here is the award I got. There's a ring, which is pretty cool. It says Battlezone Championship Wrestling. It's got a star on each side. It's really cool. It's awesome. Um, Last weekend, a couple weeks ago, I was contacted by Chris, who runs Battlezone, and he asked me if I would like to have anybody induct me into the Hall of Fame. And I saw the list of guys that was there, and because I'm not the type of one that'll say, yeah, I want this guy and make this guy travel for 3 hours to come induct me in the Hall of Fame for. I just don't want to put people out, and that's just how I am. But I looked at the list of guys that, don't get me wrong, the guys that were on that card that night are guys I've been knowing for years and wrestling with for years. Um, but it's not guys who's been there or anybody who's been there my whole career. So I thought about it for a second and I said, how about my family, my girls? You know, they have been there from day one all the way to the end. And they know me more than anybody knows me. They were there from the time I left the house to the time I came back and then had to deal with my crap in between when I traveled to these shows. They're the ones that sat in my truck for 3 hours driving to a show, sitting at a show for 3 hours, sitting in a truck driving back for 3 hours, and being tired and sleeping in the back of a pickup truck. Like, not back of a pickup truck, but in the back seat of a pickup truck. So they have been there from day one and watched me become this person, and then back to become Minotaur, and then back to Brian Falcon in a snap of a finger. And so they in turn surprised me with having one of my best friends make an appearance there and put me over. Finally put me over. And he said, when he made a comment that kind of hit me, and I've been kind of thinking about all week, that, you know, you're in this business and you're with the same guys every weekend. Some of them you can trust with everything you got, and some of them you can't. There's some pretty shitty people in this business, and there's some really good people in this business. And we're going to get into that later, though. Right now, it's March 31st. March 31st is a serious date for me, and it's a very important date. 5 years ago today, I ruptured my Achilles in the ring. Now, I went over that story probably a few stories back, but I do remember covering it. But I think it's worth to go back to. For 2 years, I limped around with my thought it was a bone spur that I had, just killing me every day. It would go away and it would come in. It would go away, it'll come in. So after about 2 years of limping around everywhere and then not limping around because it wasn't there, and then I finally went to the doctor about it, and the doctor said I had a bone spur right behind my Achilles tendon on my heel. So the bone spur is eating away at my Achilles tendon, slowly but surely. So he put me in a boot for 2 months. He put me in a walking boot, which you pump up the air around your foot, and you're not putting any pressure on your foot at all. And so for 2 months, I walked around with a boot on, and then I went back, got a recheck, and he said everything looks good, that I can go back to my regular duties. He knew that I was a professional wrestler. That is not the reason why I had that spur. The reason why I had that spur is because just wear and tear on my feet because I worked a warehouse job, 10 miles a day in a warehouse at least. Still doing it to this day. Hell, I do 20 miles sometimes a day. Just wear and tear and just a bone spur formed in the wrong spot. So everything was good. I stopped wrestling for 2 months. I went everywhere with this boot on. And I got back to wrestling. And tonight, 5 years ago, we were wrestling for Elevate Pro at Arthur Ashe High School in New Orleans. And we set up a match for me and Nick Marcos against Alex Cruz and Ray Fury, which was going to be in my opinion and in their opinion, was going to be a hell of a match. And I was looking so forward to it. We had so many things planned, and we were gonna tear the house down, pretty much tear the house down. And as it started, we did this thing where we surrounded the ring. And I've got the video. If you're Facebook friends with me, I got the video on my Facebook page. It shows me coming up to the ring and stepping this foot into the ring and getting this foot kind of caught on a second rope, and I stumbled a little bit. When I stumbled on this one, I heard a gunshot. I went down. It was like, that's how it sounded. My Achilles, they say ruptured, mine exploded. People sitting in the first and second row heard it. They said it was like a gunshot. My calf got on fire. And if you watch the video, I get back up. I clothesline both Ray and Alex Cruz. I take care of Ray. I put Alex in a corner, shoot him to the other side. I hit him with the shoulders, and I hit him with a suplex. So I still kind of kept going, and then the pain started, and it started settling in. And I got up, tagged Nick in. I said, dude, I am so sorry. You got to finish this. Please be careful. I got to finish. I can't stay here anymore. I'm about to, the pain was just too excruciating. And as I was walking to the back, I remember Bobby Grief was standing, Grizz was standing by the steps. That's the last dude I saw before I went out like a light. And I think they helped me up, get behind the curtain. When I got behind the curtain, I came to, they were taking my mask off and trying to get my boot off. And but yeah, that's what happened. Finally got my boot off, and I used to carry the walking boot with me just in case. So I had it in my trunk of my car. So I had my daughter go get it, and I put it on and pumped it up. And the doctor looked at it at the show and said, "Yeah, it's ruptured." So that was the weekend before WrestleMania. So I was slated to wrestle on like 2 cards WrestleMania weekend during the week and on the weekend. I was slated to be at the Comic-Con, no, the WrestleCon that was there. I was going to drive a limo for a limo company, a local limo company, to bring some stars back and forth from the airport to the Superdome. Man, I was going to make a lot of money that week. And instead, I was sitting on a sofa waiting to get operated on. And I finally got operated on the Monday after WrestleMania, it was a week later. I got operated on, and I laid on my sofa for 9 weeks waiting for this thing to heal. And I heard a lot of horror stories about Achilles injuries where they rupture and your life's over with. I thought I was done wrestling. But one of the guys that really motivated me to come back was an ex-Saints player who got into some trouble himself, but kind of turned his life around. Junior Gillette. I talked to him. I met him first time at the Voodoo game, and we kind of kept in touch through Twitter and through Messenger. And I hit him up because he ruptured both of his and still came back and played football. Kobe Bryant ruptured both of his, still came back and played basketball. So that kind of motivation and him hitting me up and telling me what to do kind of it motivated me a lot to get back to normal. And I did. I got back, I came back, I wrestled for a few years afterwards, and I'm still going strong to this day. I was told I would never have a calf muscle again. I've got a calf muscle. So, yeah, this date is significant for me. So I couldn't go away with today without mentioning that. So back to Mike, my friend Mike, Dan, who wrestled as Dan Delicious. My friend Mike said, and he made a comment in his speech to induct me, Something about guys you can't trust in this business. And when you walk away from this business, if you have 5 friends in this business, you're a very lucky person. I built I'm gonna screw it. I'm gonna toot my own horn here, but I built a reputation in this business, my reputation in this business, as being a person that is very professional. I get along with everybody. I just want to wrestle and meet people along the way and get to know people along the way. So 23 years, I have been pretty much I'm gonna say it, pretty much the only guy that's wrestled for every promotion that within the distance from Florida to Texas. I have wrestled for every promotion. Now you have promotions that are in each other's backyards that couldn't stand each other, and I wrestled for both of them because I didn't get myself into all the hype of, if you wrestle for them, you can't wrestle for me. I never got myself into that. And I got myself into a little trouble one time, and that's all it took. But the guys that I met in this business and the guys that so I found myself being criticized a little bit, and kind of shade got kind of thrown at me, and about going to shows and still being acquaintances with a lot of the guys. I took the wrestling business just like I take my life. Everything in life, it's up to you how you react to things. And it's up to you how your life goes in certain situations. And in certain situations, I have deemed it my whole life to understand what goes on around me and read the room around me. People are going to be different. People are going to think different than other people. It's your job to figure out for yourself how you react to it. I spent my whole career being one of the most professional guys, and I've heard guys tell me and say to other people, if you don't get along with Brian, something's wrong with you. And I feel that. And coming from the emotional weekend of the Hall of Fame and having my best friend to this day say things about me, finally putting me over after all these years. Just kind of threw it up there, threw me into a little whirlwind. But I had a crack of emotions all week. But I went from being high from, man, I got a lot of acquaintances in this business, and I got a lot of friends. And when I say friends, I mean I met a lot of people. Everyone that I've met, I go to these shows because I've been in a ring with these guys. For those of you who don't know, when we get into the ring together, we are putting each other's lives in each other's hands. So the way you take care of each other is the way, in my personal opinion, is the way you treat people. So I've been in a wrestling ring with thousands of guys, with thousands of matches over 23 years, and put my life into their hands, and they've put their lives into my hands. And I can proud to say that I can probably count on one hand, or even half a hand, how many enemies I've made in this business. I'm proud of that. So, like I said, you make your own path. So, Mike, I love you. Thank you for coming and sharing that with me this weekend. Thank you for sharing a hotel with me this weekend too. That was fun. And thank you for sharing our future friendship. And I'm looking forward to going to the show this weekend and seeing in Luling, West Bank people. Luling, Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock at the old VFW hall that we used to run all the time. We'll be there. I'm looking forward to seeing some guys that I'll personally love to death. Like I said, people look at things differently in every perspective of life, and it's the way you react to it. And I know I personally know that people are different, and I treat people the way I would want to be treated. There's many promoters and there's many wrestlers that I never agreed with, but I found a happy medium, and that's how I am. And a lot of people look down on it, but hey, it is what it is. I'm me, and nobody can take that away from me. So, that being said, thank you. I'm wearing the LSU colors for my girls tonight. I'm hoping they win and go to the final two. I hope so. So, y'all have fun. Like, share, comment. Peace.